Good morning and happy Wednesday. Let's go over Tuesday's corrections for you. All right, so we had to figure out our intensive pronoun. We had to figure out what we needed to sustain life. Of course, have to know what the word sustain means. Make some words with the affix struct, which means to make or build something. Um, in it. Number four, circling the vague pronoun and rewriting the sentence to make sure we know who or what the vague pronoun is. And then number five, choosing a matching analogy for clumsy is to grace. All right, so for number one, with the intensive pronoun, remember the intensive pronoun is a pronoun that has the word self or selves behind it. Of course, self for singular, selves for plural. So that is something that you blank will need to decide. So, of course, the pronoun has to match or it has to enhance the the subject basically. Okay, so we're talking about you. Let me grab my pen. I'm going to use blue today. So this is the subject that the pronoun, the intensive pronoun, has to match. So the intensive pronoun has to match this right here. So, and then of course have the word self because it's one at the end. So that is something that you yourself will need to decide. All right. Sorry, I feel like I was stammering for that one. Number two, which of the following are needed to sustain life? Now, here's another thing right here are needed. Which of the following are needed? Now, when you're taking your test, the best way to find out how many you need to choose is by looking at the point value. But in this case, there isn't a point value. But with this right here, with R, we know that you need to have more than one. Okay, so look for your clues that way. It's not just as simple as just reading a sentence. You need to look at it that way too. It needs to give you clues as to how many that you need to choose. In this case, there's three of them. Okay, so what are the things that we need to sustain life? Now, of course, sustain is to hold or to keep or to supply with. So, what are some things that will hold our lives going? Will keep us alive, will supply us to make sure that we're alive. Okay, so of course, water, okay, food, and oxygen. Those are the things that we need to help keep us alive. Now, of course, coming from a teacher, I think education, but no, I'm just kidding. Education is so important, but it does not keep us alive. Okay, but these things, water, food, and oxygen, are the things that our body needs in order to sustain life. Okay, or to keep it going. So we have struct to make or build. So we have words that have to include within at the beginning, at the end, um, that have struct within them. So I have instruct. Of course, that's what I'm going to do first. Instruct, construct. If you have construct, construction, that kind of stuff. To tear it down or to go in the opposite of building, and that is to destruct. You build is a structure. And how many do I have? One, two, three, four. I need one more. Oh, I know one. Construe. So, like if you misconstrue something, you make up something, or you make something out of it that was not there. Okay, so there's a few of those examples. Of course, if you have better ones than me, which I'm sure you do, put them there. They don't have to be mine. All right, so the vague pronoun. Remember, what you're circling has to be a pronoun. It cannot be a noun that is a plural word and you make it into a singular word. That's not how it works for this. You have to figure out what the pronoun is that we don't know what it is or who it is. Okay, so she told Mia that she needed to start working out. Now, in this case, this one's kind of tricky because we have a pronoun here um, that is the subject of the sentence, basically, and then we have Mia. So both of these are who's doing the action, who is the subject of the sentence. Okay. So this is a vague pronoun that we don't know who needed to start working out. Was it she that needed to start working out, or was it Mia? Okay. So let me get rid of my pen and get my cursor back in here. So I'm going to say she said that Mia needed to start working out. Hopefully, it was her doctor or something like that that said that, not a friend, because that wouldn't be a very nice friend. All right, so please do not think that this was the vague pronoun and then change it to Vanessa or something like that. Um, because we still wouldn't know who she was, who was the person that needed to start working out, even if you change this to like Vanessa. Vanessa told Mia that she needed to start working out. We still don't know if she meant herself or Mia. Okay, so this was the big pronoun in the situation. This one's a little tricky. All right, so choose a matching analogy. Clumsy is to grace. So here we have an antonym. Clumsy and grace are, I know this is horrible, sorry. Okay, so we have an antonym here. So that's what we're looking for down here, things that are the opposite. So clumsy is to grace as lethargic is to energy. So if you don't know what lethargic is, I hope you take the time to look it up. But when you look up lethargic, it means tired, not lazy, but not very energetic, the opposite of energetic. So this is definitely a good one to consider, but don't circle it right away. Make sure you don't see a better one. Okay. Spunk is to attitude. That's kind of a synonym because when you have spunk, sometimes you have a little bit of an attitude and vice versa. It's definitely not an antonym for this case. It might be like a characteristic. Sometimes if you have an attitude, you have spunk. If you have spunk, you have an attitude. So it might not necessarily be a synonym, but it is definitely not an antonym. Love is to respect. Usually, when you love someone, you respect them, and vice versa, respect and love them. Hate is to thought. Couldn't tell you where um, hopefully you keep it as a thought if you hate something or you hate somebody. I'm hoping, but I don't really see where there's um, the connection there. Okay, so this one definitely is the best option for an antonym. Okay, so we have clumsy is to grace, as lethargic is to energy. Whew, I just feel like I did a lot of stammering in that one. All right, like usual, if you have any questions, comments, call me, email me, text me. Bye, guys.